And now we get to the core of the crisis. What is a woman? What is that in this day and time? Is there even such thing as a woman or a man or anything? Seems to be a question nowadays. Now listen, women get mad at me, gay people get mad at me, lesbians get mad at me, but I'm gonna tell you right now, and this is true, these transgenders, these niggas want me dead. I've gone too far, I've said too much. And I gotta tell you, I'm very worried about it. I'm not even joking. Every time I come out on stage, I be scared. I be looking around the crowd, searching for knuckles and Adam's apples to see where the threats might be coming from. A nigga came up to me on the street the other day. He said, "Careful, Dave, they after you." I said, "What? One they or many theys?" Before I even say anything about that community, you must know, and I hope you all feel the same way, I am not indifferent to the suffering of someone else. There's laws, the mean laws in our country. North Carolina passed a law once that said a person in North Carolina must use the restroom that corresponds with the gender they were assigned on their birth certificate. No. No, that's not a good law. That's a mean law. No American should have to present a birth certificate to take a shit at Walmart in Greensboro, North Carolina, where the baby shot and killed a motherfucker. You have to ask yourself, if you're thinking about it, who are these laws designed to protect? Like, let's say they designed this law to protect me, my interests. Transphobic comedian Dave Chappelle. And let's say that I'm in Walmart doing a little shopping with my family. Now, I should tell you, if that ever happens in real life, you should know that my dreams didn't work out. But let's say something goes horribly wrong, and there I am in Walmart with the poor whites rummaging around for mediocre goods and services. And then I gotta go to the restroom. So I excuse myself from my family. I go to the men's room. Now I'm standing at the urinal taking a leak. And this is what this law is gonna do. And suddenly, a woman walks into the men's room. I'm gonna be like, that's strange. And then she stands shoulder to shoulder with me at the urinal. I'm gonna be like, bitch, what's going on with you? And then she hikes her skirt up and pulls a real live, meaty dick out. And what do you think I'm gonna say? Thank God she's in here with me. At least now I know my family's safe. No, I'm not gonna feel that way at all. I'm gonna feel very uncomfortable. I would feel better if it was a man with a vagina that backed up to the urinal next to me. I wouldn't even think about that. I'd just be like, that's funny. This guy is peeing out of his butt for some reason. Oh my God, he must be a veteran. Thank you for your service.
Please help me welcome to the stage the co-creator of Chappelle Show, the one and only Neil Brand.
Hi, Dave. Honestly, I don't know how this night came to be. Dave doesn't tend to like formal events. Normally, he dresses like a window washer. I can only imagine his wife Elaine said to him, babe, how could I get you to stop smoking for 2 hours? And Dave, assuming it would never happen, was like, you'd have to get Jon Stewart, Sarah Silverman, Neil, Q-Tip, Tiffany Haddish, Lorne Michaels, John Legend, Bradley Cooper, and say, Morgan Freeman, to fly to DC and honor my talent. Elaine said, great, October 27th. And Dave was like, shit! Dave gave me a career. We met in 1992 at a comedy club in New York City. We wrote a few jokes together over the years, but I'd always hoped we could do something bigger. Then in 1997, Dave calls me and goes, hey, if Universal reaches out to you, tell them we're writing a weed movie together. And I was like, what weed movie? And Dave said, don't worry about it. Next thing I know, someone from Universal calls me and asks, are you writing a weed movie with Dave Chappelle? And I was like, yes. And they go, when can you pitch it to us? And I was like, in 30 days' time. So we had a month to figure the pitch out, and finally on day 29, I called Dave and I'm like, dude, we gotta work this weed movie out. And he goes, what weed movie? Anyhow, the day before the pitch, we outlined Half-Baked. It took the full day, about 16 hours, and that attention to detail really showed up on screen.
I don't know about y'all, but I can't even move.
It's like I feel stuck here, yo.
Cut to January of 1998. Half-Baked opened against Good Will Hunting, Wag the Dog, As Good as It Gets, and oh yeah, Titanic. Right? It was a critical and commercial flop, and quite frankly, isn't very good. A couple years later, after the stink wore off, both professionally and personally, Dave and I were on the phone again, which was a thing people used to do. And he says to me, hey man, we should do a TV show like Playboy After Dark. Now, if you remember what Playboy After Dark was, get your affairs in order because you're on death's door. If you don't remember Playboy After Dark, it was a super laid-back TV show in the 1970s hosted by Hugh Hefner, who was a magazine publisher and mild sex trafficker. Imagine Jeffrey Epstein with a grotto. Anyway, Dave and I figured out a rough format for what would come to be Chappelle's show. Went around pitching to a few networks. HBO didn't go great. The woman actually said to Dave, and I quote, why do we need you when we have Chris Rock? See, back then, there could only be one popular black comedian at a time, unlike today, when there can be 3. So then a few minutes later, we pitched to Comedy Central, and they bought it. We made the pilot for Chappelle's show, we got picked up to series, and the show went really well. Like, absurdly well. Like, so well, you gotta go to Africa well.
Our top story? As we all know, Congress recently approved paying over $1 trillion to African Americans as reparations for slavery.
And I got enough cigarettes to last me and my family for the rest of our lives. I'm rich, biatch!
When we started the show, I knew Dave was the funniest person I'd ever met. By the end of the show, I knew Dave was one of the funniest people who'd ever lived. There were times where he would just improvise something that we'd never talked about before, maybe never even thought about before. Clayton Bigsby's entire speeches about breathing the white man's air and Will and Grace, all improvised.
If you don't like Will and Grace, that don't mean there's something wrong with you. It means there's something wrong with Will. He's homosexual.
Tyrone Bigham's speech to the kids about doing drugs with Mickey Mouse. Totally made up.
You know what dog food tastes like? Do you? It tastes just like it smells. Delicious.
Rick James saying it's a celebration. And fuck your couch.
Buy another one, you rich motherfucker. Fuck your couch, nigga. Fuck your couch.
And what do the five fingers say to the face?
Slap.
He made it all up. Writing and directing Dave sometimes was as simple as me standing on set with my jaw hanging open like, cut? The thing that I love about Chappelle's show is it allowed Dave to be his entire self, to express his intellect, his anger, his morality, his silliness, his hypocrisies, his sadness, his blazing talent. Chappelle's show was a rare thing. It was a fully faceted document of a human being living in the United States of America while having the surreal experience of being born with black skin. So, you know, Playboy After Dark. Also, the show was personal. See, I always felt like Dave blamed me for the failure of Half Baked. So one day we were shooting a sketch where Dave quit the show because he got Oprah pregnant. And we're doing a scene where he's going like rampaging through the offices, and he gets to me and he dumps trash over my head. And here's why I suspect he blamed me for Half Baked. As he dumped the trash over my head, he said, "This is for Half Baked." All right, as you can see, he claims that I actually wrote that line and told him to say it, which is the only time this entire evening that I'll be receiving any credit for Chappelle's show.
Me and Dave are both from D.C., which means that we start our careers taking the train to fucking comedy shows. Dave Chappelle is the oldest young comedian in the fucking business. This motherfucker's 44, been doing comedy for 43 years. This motherfucker was born, came out, why? Knock, knock, motherfucker! With a cigarette in his hand at the same time. The Dave Chappelle Show. Being on that show changed my life. But one character in particular, Ashley Larry, a lot of people remember me as Ashley Larry. And when we did that, Dave was like, "Donnell, what are you gonna do to prepare for the role of Ashley Larry?" I said, "I'm gonna take a shower, nigga. And just dry off. I'll be the ashiest motherfucker in Hollywood."
I'm from Washington, D.C. Chocolate City. Well, us niggas a pronoun. We have very thick skin. We don't shy away from the jokes. In fact, humor was our mode of survival. The only reason I never got my ass whooped on these streets is because niggas knew I'm hilarious. I was getting ready to start high school. We had a principal named Ralph Neal. That nigga had just seen Lean on Me and was walking around with a bullhorn like it was him. I had just gone to middle school in Ohio. I was gone for 3 years. In the 3 years that I was gone, crack came out. I came back to Washington. You guys remember crack, don't you? You remember what it did to this city. That's why it's strange to see so many white people jogging and pushing strollers and things. Because all these niggas in D.C. did the heavy lifting. We did the hard part. It's a black city. They call it Chocolate City, not because shit has nothing to do with chocolate. That was niggas. Kevin says, "Good night." The crowd goes crazy. And then everyone starts walking to his door and the lights come on. And then my son is just standing there looking at an empty stage. People are pushing past me and nobody's recognizing me. I'm like, man, this place fucking sucks. I said, "Come on, son, let's get out of here." And then my son looks back at me and he says, "Dad, please, I have to meet him." I was like, oh my God. So I took him backstage. I've known Kevin for years, but can you believe I was scared to knock on his dressing room door? I almost said, I said, son, I haven't seen him for a long time, but and one of Kevin's goons opened the door. Hey, what's up, Dave Chappelle? What you doing, man? It's good to see you, brother. What you doing in this area? This is a terrible area. Yeah, actually, I live around here. Listen. Is Kevin here? My son just wanted to meet him real quick. Well, I don't know, because Kevin's about to eat dinner. Just think Kevin came around the corner to see who it was. What? Oh, shit. What's up, Dave? Come on back. I was just about to have dinner. I don't know if you guys ate, but you're welcome to join me if you like. And then my son pushed past me some cold shit. He goes, actually, Mr. Hart, we haven't eaten in several hours. Man, Kevin took us into his back room. This guy had a fucking spread. It was Tuesday night. This motherfucker was having Sunday dinner. It was steaks, chops, corn with butter all over it. My son was eating all fast, embarrassed me. I was like, slow down, son. Then I looked over in the corner, and there was a box. Custom-made jerseys for the local team. Each one was hand-stitched, and on the back they stitched on the K Hart on all of them. Kevin saw me staring at that box, and he went over and grabbed one of them jerseys, and he walked right to my son. He said, hey, little man, I want you to have this. And my son was like, thanks, Mr. Hart. This is when I got mad. He goes, if your father ever makes you mad, put that on. And he walked out. Oh, that was some cold shit. Then I realized, I looked up what Kevin made on Google. I couldn't believe that shit. Kevin is the first comedian that a Drake song could be about. Kevin could walk around his house and sing All Me, and the whole song would still be true. Got everything, I got everything. I cannot complain, I could die. I don't even know how much I really made. I forgot. It's a lot. Fuck that, never mind what I got. And his wife be like, Kevin, come to bed. He'd be like, ho, shut the fuck up. I got way too much. You know how much money you have to tell a girl to shut the fuck up? I have quiet please money at best. I'd have to take a loan out for shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, that's Jay-Z money. And Beyonce got, no, you shut the fuck up. Let's not forget, I've never met Bill Cosby, so I'm not defending him. But let's just remember that he has a valuable legacy that I can't just throw away. I remember that he's the first black man to ever win an Emmy in television. I also remember that he's the first guy to make a cartoon with black characters where their lips and noses were drawn proportionally. I remember that he had a television show that got numbers equivalent to the Super Bowl every Thursday night. And I remember that he partnered up with a clinical psychologist to make sure that there was not one negative image of African Americans on his show. I'm telling you, this is no small thing. I've had a television show. I wouldn't have done that shit. Gave tens of millions of dollars to African American institutions of higher learning, and is directly responsible for thousands of black kids going to college, not just the ones he raped. Here comes the kicker. You ready? Here's the fact that I heard but haven't confirmed. I heard that when Martin Luther King stood on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial and said he had a dream, he was speaking into a PA system that Bill Cosby paid for. Do you understand what I'm saying? The point is this. He rapes, but he saves. And he saves more than he rapes, but he probably does rape. Thank you very much. Good night. wait. I forgot. The fourth time I met O.J. Simpson. The fourth time is not the funniest time, but it was the last time I'd see the juice. For some reason, I was at the Kentucky Derby. It's a very long story. This is right after I quit Chappelle's show in spectacular fashion. There was a party hosted by Michael Jordan, and every athlete I'd ever admired was in that room. Yes. And then I saw a familiar face by the bar, standing there, drinking alone. It was Chris Tucker. Now, you have to remember, at this time, we were both technically missing. And we went over and were talking with one another, and motherfuckers were amazed to see us together. Seeing me and Chris Tucker at that point would be like seeing Bigfoot riding a unicorn. You wouldn't believe that's what you were saying. And then, through all the gawkers, a familiar face pushed through the crowd. Here he was again, the Juice. He had his camera ready. He was like, Dave, Chris, good to see you guys. Hey, come on, guys, let's all get together for a picture. And at the same time, me and Chris were like, no. I can't do that. Sorry, Juice, my career's too flimsy to survive a picture with you. That's the end. Good night. One last thing before you go. I just wanted to acknowledge, for the real comedy fans, we can't not acknowledge it. We lost a fucking juggernaut in comedy this week. So I'm just shouting out the family and friends of Gary Shandling. Much love to you guys. My sincerest of condolences. And for the hip-hop fans in the building, put two fingers up in the air. The Tribe Called Quest and my man Fight Dog, may you rest in peace forever and ever. Thank you for that beautiful music. Good night, everybody. Thank you. I just throw the dick away. Don't need it. I don't understand, but I believe you and I support your decision, motherfucker. How far is Rachel willing to go? What is Rachel willing to do so that we blacks can believe that she believes she's actually one of us? Bitch, are you willing to put a lien on your house so that you can invest in a mixtape that probably won't work out? She didn't even change her name. Didn't even change her name. Her name is Rachel. I can't believe in that name. If you want my support, you're gonna have to change your name to the blackest shit I've ever heard. But you're gonna have to change your name to Draymond Green. I don't know a blacker name than that. That shit is black on paper. If you type Draymond Green into Airbnb, that shit will log off automatically. You know, people get mad, bro. People get mad about everything I say. I was doing a show. I was in Portland, Oregon, and I was checked in a hotel under the name Charles Edward Cheese. I came back to my room late at night, and there was a note. It was like a letter on my desk. It was addressed to Mr. Cheese. So obviously, I'm gonna assume that whoever wrote this letter must be an intimate friend of mine. This is not some kind of name that a person would just guess. But then I open the letter, and it turns out I don't know this person at all. It's a fan letter. You know, I'm not even used to the idea that I have fans, but I'm grateful for it. And even though I'm grateful for fans, I don't read those letters. Be nice if I did, but realistically, it's like, what am I, Santa Claus, nigga? I don't have time for this. Like, got shit I want to do. I'm trying to chill. Read all these dreams and wishes from strangers, but I read it. I'd already opened it. So I just read the whole letter. And you know what, man? Whoever wrote this letter truly loves me. I mean, they were really fucking nice in the letter. And then they described to me what it was like to come to the show, how excited they were, how much fun they were having. And then they said that when I got to my jokes about transgenders, that they were, quote, devastated. Because it turns out that whoever wrote the letter was transgender. Now, I'm gonna be real for a second. As a policy, you gotta understand, I never feel bad about anything I say up here. And I would never admit this to you if I hadn't locked your phones up. But it was the weirdest thing, like when I read this letter, this shit made me feel bad. I didn't feel bad about what I said, you understand? I felt bad that I made somebody else feel bad. To be honest, I don't even know what I said that upset that person. I have so many transgender jokes. But I feel like it was probably this joke I'm about to tell you right now. And it's not even that bad of a joke. It's a true joke. I mean, it's not true, but I had read in the paper that Caitlyn Jenner was contemplating posing nude in an upcoming issue of Sports Illustrated. And I know it's not politically correct to say these things, so I just figured, fuck it, I'll say it for everybody else. Yuck. You know, sometimes I just want to read some stats. I don't know why you're gonna cram some man pussy in the middle of the sports page like this. I just didn't think that was the place for it. But I wasn't saying anything like Caitlyn Jenner's a bad person. I'm not mad at her for doing it. Not even mad at Sports Illustrated. If I'm mad at somebody, I'm probably just mad at myself. You understand? Because deep down, I know that I am not strong enough to not look at those pictures. And I don't think I'm ready to see what she's trying to show me. So Caitlyn, goddamn it, if you go through with this thing, bitch, you better go hard or go home. I want you to go all the way. Hustler style. Do you know what hustler style means, miss? That means spread the lips. I hope she spreads her lips and there's an itty bitty dick inside. Ah! The show is behind the curtains. I don't know what I said that upset that person. But I'm gonna tell you something. When I read that letter, and the moments after I read it, I did something that many black men in America do not have the time or the money to do. I thought about how I felt. I asked myself a very basic question that I don't think I ever directly contemplated. I said, man, Dave, if you're writing all these jokes, do you have a problem with transgender people? And the answer is, absolutely not. The fuck do you guys think I am? I don't understand all the choices that people make. But I do understand that life is hard and that those types of choices do not disqualify you from a life with dignity and happiness and safety in it. But if I'm honest, my problem has never been with transgender people. My problem has always been with the dialogue about transgender people. I just feel like these things should not be discussed in front of the blacks. It's fucking insulting, all this talk about how these people feel inside. Since when has America given a fuck how any of us feel inside? And I cannot shake this awful suspicion that the only reason everybody is talking about transgenders is because white men want to do it. That's right. I just said that. If it was just women that felt that way, or black dudes and Mexican dudes being like, hey, y'all, we feel like girls inside, they'd be like, shut up, nigger, no one asked you how you felt. Come on, everybody, we have strawberries to pick. It reeks of white privilege. You never asked yourself why it was easier for Bruce Jenner to change his gender than it was for Cassius Clay to change his fucking name? And if I were to be brutally honest, the only reason I ever been mad at the transgender community is because I was at a club in LA and danced with one of these niggas for 6 songs straight. I had no idea. The lights came up and I saw them motherfuckers. My dick looks like Morgan Freeman in the 90s. Without the dots. My dick narrates, Dave pulled me out and started jerking me around and jerking me around. But not with the same vigor as when he was young. He and I both knew nothing was coming out. I see my age in my children. I came home from the road, this is not long ago. I've been gone for, if you can picture, I was gone for weeks and weeks. And when I came back, nobody was home. Now, one person in my family thought that maybe I'd like to see them when I got back. Like, they knew when I was coming back, but they just weren't home. And that shit was a wake-up call. You know, like when my kids were little and the tour bus would pull up to the house, these motherfuckers would spill out. Dad is home, hooray! And they'd hug me and kiss me, and then as the years went on, they'd get less interested. Hey, everybody, look, it's Mr. Promises back from the road. But an empty house, that's some cold shit. And I went into my oldest son's room. I was like, hello, hello. He was gone. And I'd never done this to him before, but for some reason I just did it. I just looked through his shit. Just to see who this motherfucker was becoming. And I found these notebooks and I started going through the notebooks and it was all this wonderful poetry in them. Written as his handwriting. I didn't even know this nigga wrote poems. And then I looked through his drawers and I opened up his middle drawer and I found this rolling paper. And I looked down at them papers like, oh, that's where that poetry's coming from. And that shit broke my heart. I mean, I smoked weed, but I mourned my son's innocence. And I cried a little bit. And I took his papers upstairs to my room. Rolled some weed that I'd hid from the family. And I got really high. And then I got paranoid, so I put his papers back how I found them. So he wouldn't know what I was up to. This nigga won't even know that that happened until he sees the special. Yeah, nigga, I found your papers. He's a cold motherfucker. Let me tell you, this kid is only 16 years old. Listen to what he did to me. This motherfucker calls me up in the middle of the night. It was 1 o'clock in the morning. He goes, Dad, don't be mad. I knew something was terribly wrong. I said, what's going on? He said, listen, I'm fine. And don't forget, you told me to do this. I'm at a party, and my designated driver had too much to drink. And me and my friends need you to come pick us up. I said, Jesus Christ, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, nigga. I am shit-faced. But I figured, fuck, it's better me than some kid. I might as well roll the dice and go pick my nigga up. I said, all right, I'm coming to get you. Just give me the address and I'll be right there. And then he gave me the address and I was shocked. I said, son, you are not gonna believe this, but I'm at the same party, nigga. They grow up fast, don't they? Can I ask you a weird question? I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. You don't have to answer it, and if it doesn't go well, we'll just edit it out anyway. Is it weird to be the only white people in a row? Is it weird? I mean, you can be honest. Does it feel strange? Are you worried at all? Give me your money, motherfucker. I'm just fucking around. I was gonna say. This guy got ice in his veins. He didn't even buckle. You know, like many black men my age, the first time I voted was 8 years ago.